With rants and raves, you'll be okay. And today is your lucky day. It is rants and raves with Gary K.
Hey everyone, this is Gary K, and I'm joined today with a familiar face, Justin Kennington, the president of the SDVoE Alliance. Hey Justin, first off, congratulations on a great show. You had, I don't know, your product was in at least 40 or 50 booths over there in Barcelona, wasn't it?
Well, you would know, right? You guys get to every single one of them. So I'm glad that you saw us as many places as we were. Yeah, the Alliance has been growing, 55 members now, 800 products in the catalog. And so, yeah, you should see us in every hall and in every show.
I mean, the interesting thing about, obviously the AV over IP market is now growing. I mean, we now, it's not just emerging, Finally. It's a growth market now. And everyone is converting or planning on converting systems to AV over IP sometime in the next few years. The interoperability positioning of SDVoE is big, but I think the bigger one right now is availability. Because you were telling me offline about a survey that you've done of your members. Share that with my audience.
In the first part of January, we put out a call to all our members with a few simple questions because we wanted to understand the availability story, and frankly, we wanted to be able to talk about it. If it was as good as we thought. 86% of our members came back and told us if someone places an order today for their SDVoE products, they can ship that product within 15 days, within 2 weeks.
That's a big deal because obviously, it's no secret that one of the biggest delivery problems in our industry is AV over IP.
Right.
And does that mean, is it, so Semtech, the company that's, obviously that's behind SDVoE, They're not having any issues with their chips or anything like that?
I don't like to talk Semtech very specifically, but of course, Semtech is a provider of the Blue River chipset that powers SDVoE. What I'll say is, Semtech has an ASIC chip available for this market.
Right.
And what's great about an ASIC in this supply constrained environment is that it's not flexible. It doesn't do other things. An FPGA, which a lot of these products having delivery problems are based on, it's flexible. It can do anything. It could be an AV over IP product, or the controller for your microwave oven, or the controller for your infotainment system in your car. So that means every electronics industry in the world is putting out demand for FPGAs. Right. That means the Pro AV companies have to get in line behind General Motors, behind Ford.
Yeah.
And it's going to be hard to get those parts. As I like to say at our little SDVoE ASIC, poor little guy, all he does is AV over IP. So there's no competition from outside Pro AV to get those components.
Yeah. And what is tell me how, well, first off, you have Netgear, obviously, supplying a lot of the switching products because they have a line of products specifically that can handle the 10 gig bandwidth of SDVoE, which is critical. But what are you seeing with regard to sort of like future applications of SDVoE? I mean, obviously, facility wide and room wide switching, traditional HDMI over to IP is what is the low-hanging fruit. But also, I know you've talked about virtual switching and multi-viewing and things like that as a big application in SDVoE. Where do you see the emerging applications and sort of the future of this going?
Actually, interestingly, I think the emerging applications for SDVoE are the more mundane everyday applications.
Okay.
We've been putting this technology out there for 7 years now, and we've gotten ourselves put into this niche that I frankly don't like of, the high-end solution. When you need multi-viewer, use SDVoE. When you need the very best video quality, use SDVoE. But the implication is, otherwise, maybe you don't need it. And the message we've been trying to say is, look, like the costs are the same. You get all those great benefits, but you also get this interoperability that comes with it. What people are starting to wake up and realize now that they're not getting the deliveries they expected from the places they were expecting them, they're sort of calling us and saying, wait a minute, tell us that story again. So what we're seeing is SDVoE no longer being stuck in the high-end application, and people are realizing I can deploy this everywhere. I can deploy this in the 3 endpoint conference room, and it's just as effective as the 1 gig solutions. Plus, it has all those other great features.
I hadn't thought about that. The price, obviously the price per input and outputs come down a lot in the 7 years that you've been doing this. And obviously the price to distribute this across the network has come down a lot. Where do you see this kind of going over the next year or two? Because obviously there's going to be huge growth in AV over IP over the next 2 years.
Yeah, I think, we hit a blip in network costs. They were falling at a nice steady rate over the last couple of decades. And COVID and the supply chain interruptions actually caused some networking equipment to get more expensive, which is really rare for IT stuff, right? So I think we're seeing the resumption, and that goes for 1 gig, 10 gig, 50 gig, all of it. We're seeing the resumption of, the switch manufacturers getting back on their downward price pressure curve. The transition for SDVoE from our FPGA solutions of a few years ago to everyone using the ASIC-based solutions now, that's a huge cost down option right there. So we're going to see costs continue to get squeezed out of this. We're going to see people more and more providing value in the software instead of in the hardware. Because ultimately, I mean, that's where technology goes, right? The software is what makes it interesting, not the hardware.
And that's interesting to me because some of the biggest differentiation that I saw at the show was in the software applications of AV over IP, specifically SDVoE, including Netgear, right? I mean, obviously Netgear is one of the players there that has decided, hey, we should get into that segment of the market. You also have recently added some new partners, supporters, whatever they are, adopters of SDVoE that don't have products yet. What's going on with those? Like, I mean, I know one of your partners is well, obviously you've got a partnership now with Dante, even with Audinate. They're in your ecosystem. I haven't seen them do anything specific around SDVoE, but obviously they joined for a reason. And then you have other brands out there that have joined. What's going on with both Audinate and Dante and the other brands out there?
Well, I can't tell anybody else's secrets that I know. I'll say that, Dante has taken some active role through some of the other members, right? IDK has a product, for example, that translates audio streams between the SDVoE domain and the Dante domain without having to go through a headphone jack somewhere. And so part of that comes from the partnership that gets formed inside the alliance between, a Semtech, an Audinate, and an IDK in that particular example. So we do see things like that. Other times we have folks who join, SDVoE ultimately is a marketing alliance.
Right.
Folks join a little ahead of their product schedule because they want to get that notoriety. They want to get their name out there as being a part of the SDVoE ecosystem so that when their product launches, it's understood that there's someone who's been participating for some time.
Yeah. Yeah. So what else did I miss at ISE? I mean, y'all had a big presence over there. I'm also interested because if I'm in the in-house broadcast market, not television, right? I'm in the in-house broadcast market. I'm going to want the best quality possible. You've recently demonstrated 8K over SDVoE. I mean, I would think that's like low-hanging fruit as well. Like that's easy, right? To get AV over IP that way for in-house broadcast, which everyone is starting to do now, thanks to COVID and people going back to the office and realizing how cool it is to be able to do live.
Sure. I mean, that's a popular application. I will be sure and let the engineers know how easy you believe 8K over IP is.
You just showed it. It can't be that tough.
Type faster. What's the problem?
Now that was impressive. I don't know if a lot of people realize that you can do that, but yeah, I think it's interesting the direction that you're going.
And that particular demo exists as sort of a proof of concept ready for a manufacturer, who sees the market opportunity to pick up and say.
I think we're still a few years away, but it's cool to know. I mean, it just shows you the difference in compressing it. Less versus more is a lot easier to do. Well, congratulations on all that. One last thing I want to mention, you're doing your own, sort of like your own podcast series now. And also you have all that really awesome education through the SDVoE Academy. We can find all that at your website, or do we need to go to YouTube as well?
Find it on our YouTube channel. You'll find us at SDVoE Alliance over there. You will find now literally our entire educational portfolio. The SDVoE Academy is all open for free, just available on YouTube. We want you to come to our academy. We want you to sign up, and you do that to get your certifications, to get your CTS renewal units, all those things. But just to consume the content, just to learn something for 10 minutes, We said, why hide that behind a password? Go to YouTube. And that's where you'll also find, you mentioned it, our new series. Let me get the whole title right. SDVoE presents face-to-face AV with Justin Kennington. That's me.
Does that even fit on YouTube?
We call it face-to-face AV for short. We call it that a lot. I just do it in the opening sequence, to buy some time. Anyway, it's an interview show, kind of like this. I bring on folks that have something interesting to say. About
it's also important to note that I have not been invited, but go ahead.
Hey, you were on SDVoE Live twice. You were.
No, go ahead. Finish your statement. Finish your thought there, Justin. Sorry.
Well, all I was going to say is I didn't want to put you on the spot, but I wanted to invite you on the program right.
Of course, now you're inviting me after I asked to be invited.
You didn't let me finish my thought. You don't know where I was going. We had Steph on last week. Did you see her interview? That was really something. We were both, I think, coming off some jet lag and
or went to a reception before or something. I don't know. But anyway, look, check it out at sdvoe.org. SDVoE.org, and you should get certified because it's really good education. Even if you're not doing AV over IP, to learn about it, it's the SDVoE Academy is sort of like the Khan Academy of the AV industry, I think.
Oh wow, I like that. Yeah.
And in any case, check it out, SDVoE.org. Justin, thank you very much for joining me today.
It's awesome to be here. Thanks, Gary.
And you can see all the videos we shot in and around all the different products that have SDVoE by just going to ravepubs.com/ISE. We were at ISE a couple of weeks ago, and there's at least, I'd say, 70 videos of SDVoE products on that database. So check it out at ravepubs.com. Click on the ISE link or go to ravepubs.com/ISE. Thanks a lot and have a great day.
With rants and raves, you'll be okay. And today is your lucky day. It is rants and raves with Gary.